Hey again, everybody. This is Comic Book Hangover, and it's time once again for my weekly haul, weekly review video. So we're going to start talking about, I guess, one book that I got from last week. There was going to be two that I was planning on talking about, but when I opened up my copy of Power Rangers number 9, I noticed that first couple of pages were damaged. So I wasn't able to read it because part of the piece that's missing in that corner has some dialogue in it. So I contacted my LCS, and they had one other copy that they had behind the counter. They had the same problem. So my question now is that a problem across the board? Was this entire print run screwed up by that? The only other cover that my LCS had available was the Legacy cover, and that says Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 79 or something like that. And I can't do that one because I'm collecting the Mighty Morphin and the Power Rangers covers. So if I get that Legacy cover, it'll screw everything up. So they're going to try to get me another copy of it. Hopefully we'll have it next week, and then I'll be able to read it. But the other book that I got last week that I was able to read without any problems was Radiant Black number 6. Wow. In the previous issue, we got introduced to other people who had this black hole power, this radiant power, I guess you could call it. And this issue, I think, focuses on one of those people. We kind of get her backstory, and we find out, that, she wound up having to rob a bank, but it was because of her fiance and his being a dumbass and gambling and getting into massive debt and just thousands and tens of thousands of dollars down the hole because he's a dumbass. So she bucks up. She takes control of the situation. She winds up getting the power and uses it to get the money to cover their debts. This is still a really good series. Although I got to say, with this issue here, I wasn't too big on the art. The art was very inconsistent throughout this issue, but the story is still really solid, and I really highly, highly, highly recommend it. That's really all I got from last week that I could talk about because it was a small week anyway. I also grabbed X-Men Legacy number 5. It was an okay story. It is what it was. And the Godzilla Monsters and Protectors book I picked up, I don't read those. I just get those for the covers. So I tried reading the first issue, and it's not for me. It's not my kind of Godzilla story. I'm not going to say it sucks. It's just not my kind of Godzilla story. So I am not reading that one at all, but I am getting those covers, those photo covers, because they're awesome. They're really, really cool. Now, before I go any further, I did share these on my Instagram, but a couple of months ago, I sent in some books to get graded through my LCS, and they came back yesterday. I was able to pick them up today with my new comics. So I got, this one is Young Avengers number 1, came back as a 9.4. I'm not much on the grades. I just like having certain books encapsulated because it's cool to display them. So for me, anything like a 9.2, 9.4 and above is good. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's still mint condition, and those are still good grades. So of course, like everybody else, I like to have a 9.8, but if I get a 9.6, 4 or 2, I'm okay with that. 9.0 and below, I'm really iffy on those. I do have Evil Ernie Youth Gone Wild number 1 that came back as an 8, I think an 8.0, and I'm going to actually crack that, send it in, have it cleaned and pressed, and regraded, and see if I get a better grade on that. But I got this one, 9.4, and the other one I got is Savage She-Hulk. This came back as a 9.2, but this is the newsstand edition. So now I officially have newsstand at a 9.2, and I have the direct edition, same book, direct edition at a 9.4. So that's, to me, that's pretty cool. So I don't have a lot of graded books, but I seem to be getting a bit of a collection. And I'm not loyal to CGC or CBCS. They both have things that I like. I do like that CBCS can verify signatures. I do like that a lot, and their turnaround time seems to be a little bit better. And I also am friends with somebody who works with them, so I get good advice on grading. And down at my LCS, they always try to point me the directions of what books to get graded and what books not to get graded. But I think by and large, my personal opinion, you get books graded that there's two reasons to get a book graded. Either for value, if you want to flip the book, or what I refer to as presumed value, because there's really no way to determine the worth of any of these books. But you can do it for presumed value, especially if you're planning on selling it in the future, or for protection, like my Evil Ernie. I got that one signed. I got that one graded because more for the protection, having it encapsulated, because it's also signed by Brian Pulido and Stephen Hughes. They were at Motor City Comic Con forever ago and got it signed by both of them in person. I was very, very happy about that. So that aside, and I may show off some of my graded books. Maybe after I get a more substantial collection of them, I'll do a video on those. So this is usually the point in my review where I talk about my Friday video, which is my Full Run Friday. It's still going to be there. This is yet another week that I'm not quite sure. I'm looking at my boxes. I'm not quite sure what I want to do this week. So it's up in the air. It's going to be a surprise. It'll be a surprise to you as it will to me. But that aside, I'm getting some pretty decent feedback on my Full Run Friday videos, and I appreciate that. I really, really appreciate that. There's some good dialogue pertaining to that series, and in the next couple of weeks, I'll be launching a third series here on my channel. So I think that'll be enough for a while, having three different series going at the same time. So maybe next week I'll talk about my third series in a little bit more detail. I have a name and I have ideas, so I'm gonna toss that out and let everybody know what my plan is. But Full Run Friday tomorrow, and news on my third series coming up soon. Now let's show off the books that I picked up this week. This is actually one that came out a couple of weeks ago. This is Mighty Morphin #9, but this is the Virgin variant cover because, my God, that's an awesome cover. It seems like any of the covers that they put Lord Zedd on are awesome, and this was no exception. So I absolutely had to have this one in my collection. So for new books this week, absolute new books, Spawn #320. This was the cover I picked up. The main cover, cover A, was pretty cool. I mean, it's Spawn without his mask on, but I like the more traditional stuff. So I go for this cover here, and the other cover, my LCS was out of it, so it kind of made it easier to make that decision. Something is Killing the Children #18. There were no variant covers available at my LCS for this, and I'm okay with that because I'm getting burnt out on the variant covers. Robin #4. I like this cover. I like the it's like a three-tone cover. There's not a whole lot of variant covers on this one. I like that one. The variant cover for this one actually was pretty cool, but I'm trying to break my habit of buying variant covers just for the sake of having variant covers. And because the first issue was pretty entertaining, I decided, what the hell, why not? I'm going to try issue 2 of Barbaric and see what that's like. So I think this will be my make it or break it issue for this series, because I am finding that I've got a lot of independent books going right now, and I'm going to have to start cutting back because it's going to get to the point where it's going to be too much to do. So even when I have weeks like this where I got barely any books, looks like the first week of the month is always my big week. That's when my Stillwater book comes out, and I think Deep Beyond and a bunch of other ones come out that day, or the first week of the month. So, but anyway, this is a fairly short video, and I'm okay with that. Try to keep them around the 10-minute mark anyway, and I think I'm going to achieve that this time. So that's it. We'll see everybody tomorrow with my Full Run Friday, which again, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, so we'll just have to wait and see. And as always, feedback is greatly appreciated. Any comments, questions, leave them down below. Definitely leave a like. The likes do help with the algorithm, although I mean I'm a really small channel here. I'm at 141 subscribers, I think, at my last count. So I don't think the likes will do a whole lot for me, but every little bit helps. So If you're at least just watching the video, go ahead and click that like, comment down below, subscribe, hit that notification button, and share the video. Do whatever you like to do with it. And I will see everybody next week with another weekly haul. It's actually, since it's the first week of August, it's going to be a big week. I'm looking forward to that. And everybody will see tomorrow with Full Run Friday to be determined. Have a good night.